Okay, let's see what we can do with this. This is natural spring water. We got this one at the grocery store or Walmart. I can't remember now, but not very expensive. Probably about $3. Nice blue bottle with a fairly large bottom on it. 28 ounces. It's better to get a 40 ounce or a 32 ounce of something, not necessarily sparkling water, but the bottoms will be a lot bigger. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to use aluminum this time to break it. I could use a nail to pop the bottom out of this one, shake it around and pop it out, but I'm just going to hit the side. Okay. Just in case. Yeah, okay. Actually, steel. I don't have to do any guesswork. Well, I guess I do. Let's see. I don't want to hit it so hard that it flies across the room. Okay. So this is what the bottom looks like when you do that. Try the aluminum again. I tried to preserve some of that vertical glass there. It's fairly thick. I've got some glass cutters. I could cut this to make it more predictable. I don't want to go fishing around in my stuff. Let's see. See if I can break it. Okay, so I got 2 arrowheads, possibly 3. I got some glass from the sides. That's a good piece from the side. Vertical. Another good piece. So I've already done one from the side. I'm going to do another one from the bottom. I've done it. It's been a while since I've done a blue glass arrowhead. This should be interesting. First thing is there's a big curve in it usually. Similar with beer bottles, of course. And this glove's just to prevent all those little glass shards from landing on me. Percussion really throws those shards everywhere. Not that indirect percussion doesn't do that too, but direct percussion at the early stage will send a lot of shards flying. I'm not sure what type of arrowhead I'm going to make. probably a California type, since they made arrowheads all the way into the colonial period. They were using glass a lot of times. Aluminum is more gentle than steel as far as cracking it. I'm going to switch back. Okay. Not as thick as a champagne bottle, but it's good. Still good. Alright, so first thing is take the curve out as much as you can. Well, maybe the first thing is to get rid of the square edges. And, you know, technically they're not square, they're just, you know, blocky. Not all those angles are 90 degrees. Why don't I just grind these edges and use the flat edge to send flakes? I could, but I'd rather knap off of a serpentine edge. That's just my preference. You know what I mean? I could just grind these, abrade that very steep side and just knap with a pressure flaker off of that after I do some abrading to roughen it up so the flaker doesn't slip. You know what I mean? I could do that, but no. Got to be careful with the curve. Got to make sure I'm knapping in the right direction. Very slippery. Okay, so that most of that curve is gone. There is a little bit of concavity here, but you know, that's the basic preform already. I always check to make sure I have no glass in this area where it's making contact with the pressure flaker, where my skin's making contact with the pressure flaker. There's usually a good amount of abrading with glass. But like I said in the other video, it's not mandatory. You can knap rough preforms without abrading. And sometimes you can do finish work. Well, not sometimes. You usually do finish work without abrading. The very last series, just so you won't have dull spots. This is snapping pretty well. The champagne bottle glass was a little bit tougher. I would wear a glove, but I can't refocus the lens. I have to touch the screen with my finger. It'd be better to wear a glove on my right hand too. Let's just try it anyway. I'll just have to take my glove off every time I want to refocus. I'm using some heavy pressure on some of this, so those flakes are flying. One reason why I like using indirect percussion is because these flakes are not, with indirect percussion, they're not bouncing off the pad like they are right now. They're hitting me in the glasses. I can feel them. Some of them probably going down my shirt, down my, the neck of my shirt. Some of them are going in this area. With indirect percussion, they just mainly go down to the floor. They don't bounce back up off the pad. I've had them hit the top of my head. But as far as the dust hazard, I had a question on that. The glass dust is not listed as a carcinogen or as even harmful to humans. But silica dust from stone is a carcinogen. And if you go back to my other video, I put a link to a study and to an article that goes into that. This study has a very nice reference bibliography at the end. If you look at the links that I provided in a response to a comment, just in case you don't believe me. So I'm not worried about breathing in the dust from the glass. I'm just worried about it getting it, you know, inside my clothing and on my hair and anywhere where I might scratch. Scratch because it feels irritating, and then I end up with a piece of glass driven down into my skin where I don't want it. That's the only thing. Otherwise, glass is nice to nap. It gets a little boring, I guess. After you've napped glass for months and months on end, you get an itch for something, you know, for some variety. But you can always go back to glass for practice, and you know, just to stay in practice and whatnot. Maybe make some attractive arrowheads for display or for sale. Nice. It's easy to dig in too far with these bowls of percussion, so I have to be careful about that. Easy to overshoot. Indirect percussion is pretty intense. I'm trying to remember the arrowhead that I made on video with blue glass the last time. It might have even just been a plain old triangular type. It's going to be like a desert side notch or something similar. So what this does is just thins it down. When I take these large flakes and then I can continue with pressure. When it gets about this thin, I can stop with the percussion and finish off with pressure. Yeah, step fractures are very common with glass. Everybody gets them. They are a pain. Every time I review my one of my videos, you know, just before I post it or just after I post it, I'm always thinking to myself that I look like a newbie. When I'm first starting these videos, hopefully I'm ending a lot better than I'm starting. I wish I could nap every day, but I can't. I used to nap almost every day after coming home from work. You know, because the family would give me some time in the afternoons just to do the dad stuff. You know, dad's time after work just goes and works on stuff in the backyard. But now that I'm a stay-at-home dad, I spend all my time doing errands and giving people rides and answering questions and stuff like that. Let's see. I have to get the right position for the focus. Okay, just maintain that distance and put my glove back on. Yeah. Since I left work to be at home with the kids, I've done a lot of cooking and barbecuing. It's kind of off topic, but I got my system down for making brisket. Or grilled salmon, or all kinds of stuff on the grill. So I do that too. Didn't do any cooking outdoors during the cold snap, although it was perfect weather really on some days. Some days just too cold, but yeah, typical newbie mistake there. Yeah, it was very cold during that cold snap. But I usually try to get out and do some kind of grill work, so to speak. So that was a big mistake because I took off way too much of that corner. Trying to send a flake across. It ended up not going anywhere. Still kind of thinning and shaping at the same time. Okay, so that's pretty much the preform. Now, I still have quite a bit of the original bottle surface, but that'll go away with the final shaping and the final thinning. I'm going to have to refine this tip on the flaker. Let's see. I'm trying to decide what shape of arrowhead I'm going to do. Let's see. A lot of times when that happens, I'll do a corner notch. But I took too much off the base as well, so it won't look right. I might have to just even out that whole base. So I was knapping that. I felt like I needed a longer tip, more narrow. The bulky tip was just getting in the way. Okay. I still have a little bit of a curve in this, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, at this stage I have to be very careful about where I do my major flakes so I don't overshoot. Very careful about the pressure, very careful about where they end up going. I want to attack the lumps first, the thickest spots first. I overshot one of the flakes here. It didn't take much off the edge, but it just made it awkward now. One thing good about glass is that damage control isn't that hard. You know, you can go after steps and stuff. But it's so easy to create those errors that sometimes you'll create an error going after another error. You know what I mean? But I think I got the thick spot out of the middle that I wanted to get, that I wanted to remove. I want to make sure it's thin enough in the notching area that I don't have to worry about stalling the notches. If you can't see what I'm doing, just leave a comment and let me know. I'll try to improve the video quality, try to get better at zooming in on the right spots, and maybe get a better lighting setup. It seems to work well if I don't have too much lighting. Too much lighting and you can't see the shadows and stuff. Yeah, that one, that piece of glass bounced off the light and hit me, hit my glasses right where my eye is. It would have got me right in the eye. And I'm wearing reading glasses, right? So I've got to be even closer than I normally would. I need to find a pair of glasses that I can see without having to crouch in and look at this really close. These are just simple magnifiers, and if I'm too far away I can't see, so I have to crouch in really close to the workpiece. Which increases the hazard from the flying shards. Okay. Alright, so it's getting pretty thin. I'll continue on the next video. I'm going to do a pass to see if I can get rid of that bottle surface. Okay.